So, good morning, good afternoon. Now, because we are not working today, I think it is important for us to be able to learn something. And one of the things that I've been saying is that AI has actually made it possible for us to be able to identify our skills or get our skills and move them from just skills to business. And what AI has done is that it has actually been able to help us develop our own products without looking for programmers, without looking for these other people that we look for. And therefore, it means that you can actually be able to have an idea today, wake up in the morning, have an idea, then think about how you can be able to implement it, develop a product, a software delivery system, and in the evening you roll it out so that you can be able to look for customers, or you can target your customers or get your product to the customer. So that is what I have actually been saying that AI is helping us to do. And for those of you who are in startups, it is easier now to develop an MVP, minimum viable product, by yourself. And therefore, it becomes easier for you to be able to do what we call develop what you want. You can actually be able to develop what you want. So we have AI platforms like Lovable, we have AI platforms like Bolt, we have Leaplet, we have Casa. All these AI platforms are helping you to develop what you would want to develop, or a product that you would want to develop for the sake of your customers. Now, I want to show you something that I have actually done, developed for myself. And though I'm not yet complete with it, but it shows you now that it is easier for you to be able to do some of these things easily without struggling. Now, this is one of my projects, Mikud projects. I am using Lovable, and this is Lovable. I'm using Lovable, and you can see Lovable. So Lovable is one of the platform that we are actually using to try and help us to develop some of these products. Now, what happens with Lovable is that if you have an idea, you can actually be able to develop your product basically using Lovable without having any skills, technical skills in coding or that, in coding or any other technical skills that is needed for you to be able to develop this product. So that take an example of this product that I've been developing. This is one of the products that I have been developing. Let me open it. And if you look at it, this is a product that is supposed to help researchers to monetize their publications. And this is a product that I've developed myself. I am not actually very good in coding, but if you look at it, I've actually been able to develop it. Right now, using this product, you can just come here, you upload your paper. So what this product is supposed to do is that you are supposed to upload your papers in podcast form. And when you upload your papers in podcast form, then you can actually be able to monetize them, because all what you need to do is to come here and to subscribe. So I have different subscriptions here where you can actually be able to subscribe to any of these basic research institution subscriptions. On top of that, if you look at these podcasts, you have a donation, so you can actually be able to choose the kind of donations the type of the different ways of donation that you want people to donate to you. So those who want to donate to you in cash form can actually be able to donate after listening to your podcast. If people want to invite you for research, they can actually be able to do it, and also for conferences, sponsorship, they can actually be able to do it. So I can actually take my paper here. Take an example of this paper here. I have a paper here. This is one of the papers. If you look at it, this is one of the papers that we did with the students. I bring it here. Then after bringing it there is this title for the paper. So I fill this form here. The title for the paper, the title for the paper is that one. Then you have the others. This we ordered with I was not alone, so you can see the others. You have Catherine, you have David, and you have Grace. Then this is Kirinyaga University. How do you get the paper? Because you also want to get the paper, so there are different ways. So the paper, it is already inscribed there. This is the social science paper. Then the email address that you can actually be able to get this person with. Then research sharing consent. You need to consent that you have no problem with sharing research with this platform, and then you submit. So when you submit, you see it gives you a simple writing here, a dialog box that tells you that you have actually submitted your paper, and you can see it here. This is your paper that you have submitted in this journal. So anybody who wants to listen to the podcast of the paper, you just come and click here. You can see the podcast is already
Okay, let's unpack this. We often hear about the vital role of
right
micro and
now.
small
You can actually
enterprises,
listen. You
or
see it is
yeah,
working. It is because
MSEs, right,
I'm using
in
the system,
economies
some of these
worldwide.
systems, but
Absolutely.
you
They're
can actually be
huge
able
job
to hear
creators, GDP
if
contributors,
you
Yeah,
are
but
not
really the
using some of
backbone
these
for many
systems
nations.
for
that I'm
sure. Like
using
in the
here.
UK, they're
So
responsible for
this
nearly what,
paper, anybody
57%
who
of job
listens and
creation.
decides that is
And
a good
India,
paper, you
something
can
like
come
39%
here
of manufacturing output.
and
Yeah,
donate.
massive
You
numbers.
can
Definitely.
have a
But
donation
here's
for
the
the
tough part,
paper.
the sort of
It
constant
will ask
challenge
you
they
how much
face,
you want to donate to
survival.
that
Exactly. The
person, and
failure
then it
rates are
will
just
lead you
staggering. You hear
to
figures like
to the
68% of
will lead
MSEs in
you
the US disappearing within 5 years.
And it's
the
similar, maybe
different
even
accounts
tougher
for
in
these
parts of
people, the
Africa. Like
wallets
the
for
Kenyan
these
example you
people,
mentioned, 3 out of
the
5
people
businesses
who
failing within their
actually the
first few
people who
months. It's
actually
incredibly high.
It really is. And that
the
brings us to
others of
today's
the
deep
paper.
dive.
It will
We're
divide
looking
the
at a
money
really
into
fascinating
different
study from Kenya that focuses right on this problem.
equally to those people,
Specifically, it looks at
and maybe
group-based
the money
MSEs
will
and
come to
the
the
influence of
investor
government
or
support
it's going to
programs.
come
Right, because in Kenya, MSCs are
you
absolutely
are
dominant, like
you are
90% of all
PayPal
enterprises.
or
90%.
Yeah.
And
any other
employing
account
over
that you have
60% of
people.
the
So you
working
can actually
population,
be,
it's
so somebody
huge.
can
Yet,
also
as the
decide
data shows,
to donate
their
to you
GDP contribution actually
to,
fell recently from
yeah,
about
to donate
28% down to
to
24%.
actually
And that feeds into these bigger problems, doesn't it? High
get you into a
poverty,
research
really
grant.
stark
That is another way
inequality,
that you can
and that
actually
massive youth unemployment rate, nearly
benefit from
39%. It's a
this
real puzzle.
system.
It absolutely
On
is.
top
And
of
it
that, you
raises
have the
this
issue
really
of
important
what
question.
you can
Why?
also be able to
Why the
get
slow growth and these
through.
terrible
You
failure
have
rates,
donation, you have
especially when the
research,
Kenyan
and
government has been trying to help?
down here
You
you
mean
have
things like the
the
government-sponsored enterprise
you have
funds, the GSEF?
the
Exactly. Funds
sponsorship
like the
for
Youth Enterprise
conferences and all
Development
that.
Fund,
And in this
YEDF, the
dialogue,
Women
you need to
Enterprise Fund,
be
WEF,
you need to put
and the USO Fund. They're specifically set up to provide capacity
I need to
building,
put
training and support.
Giving people the tools, basically.
That's
a
the
bar
idea.
here
But
that
here's the
actually be able
contradiction. You see these massive training
to help
numbers. YEDF trained
move
over
these other
460,000 youths in
boxes,
just
the
1 year.
cash, the
Wow.
research
But then these same funds
boxes
report
affect
really
them. But
high
these are
loan
simple
default
things.
rates.
So what I
YEDF's
need
was
to do is to run to
54%,
tell you
UASO
what I
funds
wanted to do. But
61%.
you
It
can
just
see
doesn't
I've
seem
already
to add up.
uploaded a
So that's
paper
the core of our mission
in
for this deep
this
dive, right? To
platform. So
figure out
this
this
is something
paradox.
that I've made for
Precisely.
myself.
Does the
This is
capacity
not
building
something
offered by
that
these funds
somebody
actually
has made
help
for
these
me. And
group-based
therefore,
MSEs
it
grow?
tells you that
And
we are
maybe just as
living at the
importantly,
best
what about the
times
groups
ever.
themselves?
That
Do their
we can actually
characteristics
be
like
able
leadership or
to
member
develop some of
experience
these
play a role?
platforms
And you mentioned there are
ourselves
some surprising findings.
without
Oh,
looking for
definitely.
other people.
One
We
about the
can
direct impact of the
looking for people
training,
who can
and
actually
maybe an even more unexpected one
do it
about what
for us.
doesn't seem to
Now,
influence
Lovable is
that
one
link.
of the
It's
platforms that you can
kind of a
use, and I have
shortcut to
shown you.
understanding how
So all what you
complex
need to
this
do is
support
to
business
look
really
for
is,
ways in
especially
which
in
you can
developing
be able
economies.
to
Okay, interesting. So before we dig into the
you have an
specifics of the
idea.
Kenyan study,
After having an
let's just
idea, you can
briefly set the
actually get
stage. We'll
the
look at the
idea
global picture.
Good idea, because this
from
isn't just a
you can actually get your idea from ChatGPT. So you come here, then I share the screen, I go to ChatGPT here. Suppose you wanted to develop something. So you come here to ChatGPT and tell it that maybe you want to develop. I want to, develop app that will help me help me to get, help me to identify the different diseases that are different diseases that affect Three. Oh, three. Four, three. It should be done through a camera on a phone camera which will identify the disease through, through taking a photo of the. So that is what we want to develop. So what you do here is that now, after you are through with that, you told ChatGPT what you want to do, and you can tell ChatGPT, please create prompt that I can use in Lovable AI to create a. So you want a prompt that can actually be, you can actually use in Lovable, create that app, and you can see it is actually developing for you a, the prompt. You know, most of the times you actually don't want to bother thinking about some of these things. That is why sometimes I keep telling people that please use what you have. And what you have is mostly the what you have is mostly chat. ChatGPT can do these things for you. You see, the project here is portrait disease identification. You have to develop a mobile application that uses phone camera to identify common is by analyzing images of affected chicken. The app should help farmers quickly and accurately detect from photos to sick birds, see image capture, image. So these are the key features that you need. A disease database, you need a diagnosis report, farmer education, offline functionality, multi-language support, user-friendly AI. All these are what you need. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to actually take that, like, copy that, and uh, uh, copying that, copying that. I can go back to my laptop and go back to my laptop. mm, That one, and laptop. I don't know whether. Let me just oh, go to laptop. Then I come here. Mm, I say lovable here. Don't want to use the one that has my project. I want to use the other one. So that is why you see I'm moving out. So I'll come there. Just hope that this one is the one that doesn't have my no. Sign out, then log in. So I want to log in with the other one because this one already has my project. So I don't want to antagonize my project, no, because I have logged out. And actually come here again and say. So allow me some few minutes to get into the other one, the Lovable platform. So log in, log in, I'll go with David Kabata, he's the one for the university. And after I have logged in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going now to go back to then I share a screen. Is here. So you can see, so I come and post whatever I've taken here. Remember I had taken something from from ChatGPT. So I'll come and I'm trying to copy, and I come and unlock. How do I unlock this? So I'm supposed to come and copy. I don't know why it is not copying, but if it was able to copy, then I come here and paste everything there. So I remove what is not important, anything that is not important. Then I come here, anything that is not important, I remove it. Remember my prompt starts there. So this is not important because this is what I told it to do for me. So I remove all this, remove all that, and I remain with my project. Then I tell Lovable to continue with the magic. And let us see what it is going to make for us. Remember, we are making up an app that can actually be able to help us identify sick chicken using a phone. You just take a photo, and you are able to actually identify some of these things. So that is what we are trying to develop right now. You can see my Lovable is working, trying to develop that. Trying to develop that application. So sometimes you have to wait for some few minutes. Remember now I'm using I'm actually using the free words. I'm using the free credit from Lovable because Lovable gives you free credit equivalent to about per month, 30 credits per month. Then credits are some of these prompts that you're going to make. So this is one of the prompts that I have that are made. So remember, you can see it is spinning up the preview. It is developing the preview. So that is what is happening right now. That is what is happening right now. That is what is happening right now. We are waiting to see whether it is going to finish, so that when it finishes, then we can see the kind of project it is going to develop for us. But one of the things that we need to understand is that I had a problem. I had a problem of identifying the diseases that are actually affecting my chicken. And I decided to solve that problem by developing an application or an app that can actually be able to help me know these diseases by just taking a photo of the chicken. And it will tell me the problem that is there. So that is what I'm developing. Remember, I'm moving from a problem that is already there to a solution to this problem, a solution to this problem. We are still waiting. You can see it is developing the database and all that for diseases, because these are some of the things that it needs to develop. So remember, these are things that you are doing as somebody who has actually never done what we call coding. You've never been in coding, but you are able to do some of these things very, very, very easily. You are able to do some of these things very easily, basically because of some of these platforms capability. And that is why I told you that we are in a situation where we can actually be able to develop applications and also websites without having the technical skill, without having the technical skill. So let me see what it has developed for me. Let me see what it has developed for me. So there is an error there. So because there's an error there, I'll tell it to fix the error. Because me, I don't know. It will fix the error. Remember, I'm not a technical guy in this area, but you can see it has already done the coding. It has already done the coding for all this that I was looking for. It's working. Me, I actually don't understand where the error is. So let Lovable do all these things. Let Lovable do all these things. So I'm waiting for it to finish. You can see it's working. It's working. I've just told it to fix this problem that you can see here. I've just told it to fix the problem that you can see there. So that is what it's working here. Just hope there's no other problem. So that is my application. You can see identify pottery disease. Let me just make it bigger. So take a clear photo of your bird and get instant analysis. So take a photo. When you come there, you take a photo. Now the problem is that you take a photo. After taking a photo, you load it here. And then after loading it there, it will actually analyze it and tell it the kind of the diseases that your poultry has. So maybe I can go to Google so that we can test it. Google. Yeah, sick chicken photo. So I can take this photo. You can see this photo. This one I'm going to copy image. So to copy that image. The image. I'll save images. So I'll come here to images, pictures. Call it a sick chicken. Sick chicken. So I go back to my Lovable. Let me look for that chicken that I have. Picture. There's a sick. Is here. So let's see whether they can identify the disease. Nice image. Newcastle disease, high risk. Urgent action required. This condition requires immediate veterinary attention. Am I okay? Have I developed a product for you? Thank you very much. So that is the power of AI today. And that is why I'm telling you that for those of you who actually have solutions today, you can actually develop a solution, a problem today. You can actually develop a solution for any problem that you have without any issue. So I can take another one. Let me just take another photo. We see a different one. Sick chicken. We see whether we can be able to know the problem. This one. Tuone tuchukue hiyo. Let's take that one. I'm looking for another one for a sick chicken and we see what it is going to tell us. What about this one? Let me see. Let me take this one for this kachik here. Now this one you have to pay. So I wanted the usual ones that you don't have to pay. I'm looking for the ones that you don't have to pay. Images. Let me see. Let me just pick one image here. We see whether my simple system can recognize. Save images. So here, sick 2. So I'll call it sick 2. They have got picture, I'll the picture. Then I'll go back to my Lovable. Then I go back to this one. Have nice. Then I come here. Niwekee hiyo ingine nione kama itajua ni shida gani iko nayo. Acha tujionee hata hii ni kazi. Disease. Hakuna kitu kingine iko na confidence 87%. So I think this is one of the diseases observable symptoms. Dropping wings, twisted neck. So you can see I have developed a product for myself. Save the diagnosis report. So maybe I would want to go further and say, please create a veterinary vet connection page. So I want to see whether they can connect. We can connect to the veterinary so that when we see these diseases, we can actually go further and connect this with the veterinary. Remember, these are just things that are coming from home. So let me see whether Lovable is able to do that, because I want a situation where when I understand the problem that my chicken has, then I can actually be able to connect to the veterinary. So I'll have a table of all the veterinaries, so I can actually and their contacts. So anytime I have a problem, I take the photo, I can actually be able to look for a veterinary and he will authorize me or tell me what to do with the chicken, what I need to give to it, so that I can be able to solve that problem. So I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. So you can see it's still working on that. And I think it is true. So I come here and refresh. So now Right? Let me see what it has done. Find the vet. So you can see the vet is there already. Now I need to, the vet is there already. So I have the vet. So I can actually be able to create a database for the veterinary. I can create a database for the veterinary. I can create a database for the veterinary so that now I have the contacts for these veterinaries. But you can see it is working. So that is how you can actually be able to use Lovable. And remember, it is not just Lovable. We have Bolt, we have Leaply to try and develop your own SaaS that can actually be able to help you to solve a given problem that you have in your society. So this is a veterinary. You can see, okay, this is just a ghost veterinary. It's trying to just show you how you can be able to do it. But you can see now, you can actually identify the problem, the disease. So you can actually identify the disease. And then after identifying the disease, you can also be able to get a veterinary, connect with a veterinary. You can be able to get the veterinary and know the problem that is there. So this is a scan, this is the disease, this is the learning. You can learn about more about it. This is the vet, this is the prevention. It can also give you the issue for prevention. So you can see I have already developed what we call a minimum viable product for that. So that is how you actually use these technologies to solve some of these problems. So thank you very much. I just hope that I've actually helped you or I've made you understand some of these things. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.